ductile flow, the grain structure is different from the outside to the inside just because of the way the material floated. 27, 28, 29, starting to slow down a little bit, 30. I'm really having to pour the juice to it. There's 31. So about 155 PSI.
Jesus. Something. I didn't get the number. You do.
That was too quick.
Blower.
Inside the inside, the difference in the angle of braking, okay, brittle versus ductile, and then the grain itself, shiny versus stubble grain on the inside. So that one was heated good, it was quenched real good. You can see the difference.
Hey, welcome back to Materials Testing, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Rockwell hardness test. Now for this we have a couple different types of materials for you to use. This right here is our mystery specimen. But first what we want to do, we want to put it onto our anvil. And if we have different anvils right here, or different test specimens, you're going to want to make sure that it applies to what you need. So for this, it's just going to be a flat piece of material, like that. But for a piece of round stock like this, we have other kinds of anvils that we place on here, like so. But we're going to be doing a flat piece of material right now. I also want to talk about our penetrator. Penetrator is what is actually indenting the piece of material. This is our C penetrator, C braille. And there's a couple different other ones for the type of material that you're going to need, but for this, we're going to be using the C braille. And we just go and tighten it up. Now, first thing we want to do is take our handbrake, pull it back like that, and we're going to take our hand wheel and we're going to tighten it up. Bring it this way. And we're going to want to make sure that we don't have any of the divots touching the penetrator. So now we're going to tighten it, and we have our one dial and our long needle. We're going to want to line that up with this little dot here, line that up with the line behind it. And we're going to take and zero it out, which is right there. The middle black lines for the C. There's also a B and there's other ones, but we're just going to worry about the C for now. So now that everything's zero, we're going to let go of our crank handle. Wait for our long needle to stop moving, which should take a couple seconds. And we're going to pull the crank handle back one more time. And this is our final reading right there at about 45. So we're going to release our crank handle one more time before we take it out. Loosen it up. And that is our test. We're going to want to make sure that we do this another 2 times. Pretty much the same thing. A lot of the things from our analog are still here, like our anvil and our penetrator. But the only thing that's really not here is a crank handle. Instead, what we do, we're going to load up our specimen, tighten it up a little bit, and now you see the minor load right here is just, you see one little red bar. Now we're going to keep pulling it until it says set. It's going to be testing now. And that is our reading for this. Now we could just unload it by bringing our hand wheel down. And that's it. Again, you just want to make sure that whenever you do a test for any type of material, you want to do it 3 times. You want to have 3 recordings. And then we're just going to reset our data and input.
This Ford Focus here is going to go on a little day trip into this concrete block at 120 miles an hour. It's an extreme test that's equivalent to the worst scenario imaginable. 2 cars colliding head-on whilst both travelling at 120 miles an hour. Crash Authority Euro NCAP conduct tests at up to 40 miles an hour. We're going 3 times faster. Partly because modern cars can reach such speed, and partly because we're curious as to what would happen if a car was exposed to such enormous forces. At 120 miles an hour, our experts say that the deformation will be so great they're not prepared to use their expensive traditional crash test dummies. So as a result, we've got to use these guys. These are shop front mannequins. These will hopefully give an idea of what it might be like for a human to experience a head-on 120 mile an hour incident. These are yours, mate. There you go, love. As the car was wheeled into position, I had nothing else to do but watch on and wait. Even in a controlled environment, the thought of such an impact sent shivers down my spine. It's round about this time that I get quite nervous. The sound of an accident is just catastrophic, but these guys have never actually tested a car this fast. So this is like proper unknown territory. I'm going to go and find a really safe place to sit down and admire the view. A crash like this takes some serious engineering. The car will be propelled towards the wall by a winch with 15,000 pounds-feet of torque. That's the equivalent of 16 Bugatti Veyrons. With forces that great, attention to detail is vital. One loose nut and we could be sending a 120 mile an hour Focus into the middle of Nuneaton. Brace yourselves, these images are disturbing. Sensitive viewers and those with a dicky ticker might want to look away now. This is it. Oh my God! Listen to the echo. The Focus is obliterated on impact. Only the rear end escapes total destruction. And the passengers? Don't ask. God, the hairs on the back of my neck are sharp as nails. The car decelerates from 120 miles an hour to 0 in 68 milliseconds, with its occupants experiencing peaks of 400 G. The front end hits the wall with such force that the back end rises up 90 degrees and the car is slam dunked down onto its nose. Crash test expert Tony Payne talked me through the scale of this wreckage.
Absolutely mauled. Yes, you've got the vehicle crushed nearly all the way back to the B-pillar. You can see here, for an occupant in there, absolutely no survival space at all. There's the rear seat, and there's the steering wheel there, and literally it's been compressed between the front and rear seat down to that distance.
Goodness me. It's almost turned into a piece of modern art.
And if we go right round into the car itself, front seat's right in there, that's the instrumentation panel, and the person's literally in that area there.
I mean, I know it's all not real, but it's still mighty haunting.
It is an extreme scenario, but modern family hatchbacks can reach the speeds we saw today. Maybe it'll make you think twice the next time you want to put your foot down.